and the Magic tied at 79. Orlando playing its fourth overtime game. They've won one, lost two. The Knicks in their fifth. They're one up and three down. The foul situation, Charles Smith has fouled out, 5 apiece on Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley. 4 apiece on Scott Skiles, Shaquille O'Neal, and Donald Royal.
Well, Scott Skiles, who at halftime had a total of just 17 minutes, thought he was in for a short game for a change instead of 2 back-to-back 48s. Now all of a sudden 41 minutes with another 5 to go.
Mason posting up. Anthony, Starks, Ewing forced out deep, goes to the spin and hits. Patrick Ewing with 32 points. The Knicks lead 81-79. The Knicks 6 of 17 in the fourth. Orlando 5 of 26. A combined total of 11 field goals. That's all in the fourth quarter. Tolbert. Orlando went through a stretch of 0 for 16 in that fourth quarter. A minute gone by in overtime. Starks, yes. So John Starks has turned it up after the poor shooting earlier. He's hit 4 of his last 5, and the Knicks lead 83-79. Skiles, wild pass. It will be Nick Ball.
Well, along with Shaquille, just 3 for 17 from the floor, you've got Tolbert at 4 for 12, and so many of Tolbert's shots have been wide open, medium range jump shots, and they're just not going today for him.
Yes, Tolbert with that 4 of 12 from the field. Shaquille O'Neal only 3 for 17. Starks blocked by O'Neal. And that is third rejection.
You depend on your big man to cover up the mistakes of others. That time Starks on his way to the basket for what looked like a sure layup, covered up by Shaquille with the block.
Mason, fouled by Tolbert. Anthony Mason,
number 25, Nick Anderson,
taking Tom Tolbert down low. Well, Anderson came over to help out, and he's charged with the foul. That's 3 on Anderson. Anthony Mason, 6 for 9 from the line.
So Greg Anthony mentioned to us yesterday that this Knicks team is a fun group to be around. They really like each other. 6 or 7, in fact, went out together yesterday to play a little round of golf in the afternoon after Pat Riley had given him an optional day of practice. And just then you could see Charles Oakley talking to Starks as the Knicks gathered together and said, don't worry about it. Starks driving to the basket, got the shot blocked when you had a couple open players. They stay with each other. They encourage each other. They're a tight group.
Knicks have reeled off 5 straight points in this overtime. Skiles for 3. And Bowie able to hustle it down. Tolbert. Starks was looking for a call. Tolbert got the roll. Knicks lead by 3.
No hesitation that time by Tolbert to catch. He looked up. There was Patrick Ewing. He knows Ewing has 5 fouls. Put it on the floor and make him move his feet.
Double team of Ewing. Here's Anthony. Yes, Greg Anthony, who has been hitting the jumper, 4 for 6 from the field, and the Knicks now lead 86-81. Best shooting performance of the afternoon taking place here by the Knicks in this overtime.
Well, both teams, give them credit, they've played outstanding defense. You know, in 2 previous games, as I mentioned earlier, New York has only scored 93 points a game against this Orlando team.
Another three-pointer, Anthony Bowie. So that cuts the Knicks lead down to 2. We come up on 2 minutes left in overtime. Shot clock at 7. Starks. Rebound, O'Neal.
You can hear the crowd moaning as Starks was open and he started to release the shot. Someone had to get to him a little more quickly as far as the crowd was concerned.
Here's Shaquille. Ewing did not want to pick up his 5th. That won't count. Foul called before the shot.
the foul number 14.
Anthony Mason called for his 1st.
The one thing about Shaquille, once the first shot goes up, you've got to stay with him if you can stay off the ground, because he goes right after it and follows up for his 2nd and 3rd shot opportunities. I say you got to stay up, but Easier said than done when the 7'1", 308-pounder turns into you.
It's a non-shooting foul. Shaquille now has 18 rebounds. Orlando with the ball down by 2. Here's Shaquille. He has tied the game at 86.
And because of fouls, Patrick Ewing really couldn't body up to him. He couldn't go after the block. He just had a hope that Shaquille would wind up missing an in-close shot.
Depth of defense. Ewing. They have traveled. It will be Nick Paul who was last touched by the Magic. I think Patrick got away with a walk.
I don't think it was a walk. I think it was the normal two-step that Patrick Ewing always gets away with.
Timeout has been taken with 1 minute and 20 remaining in overtime.
A few moments ago, with 5 fouls on Ewing, all Patrick can do is put his arms up, don't challenge him too much, and hope that Shaquille misses it, but he doesn't. At the other end of the floor, Ewing turns into Shaquille with his right shoulder. The ball is exposed. Shaquille goes and gets it.
Mr. Stats, Elliot Kalb, our crack statistician, supplying us with an extraordinary number. Shaquille O'Neal has now blocked 3 of the Knicks' last 7 shots. He has 5 blocks in all. Only 10 points, though. 4 for 19 shooting, but 18 rebounds and the 5 blocks. Patrick Ewing is the high man with 32. He's playing with 5 fouls. O'Neal has 4.
And I'm sure the Magic coaching staff will mention after this game to Shaquille, this is why we'd like to have you around at the end of the basketball game.
Game tied at 86. Starks getting inside. Well executed off the inbounds. The Knicks lead at 88-86. 1:15 left in overtime. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, and Ahmad Rashad from Orlando. Capacity crowd. Better than 15,000 on hand for this 3rd meeting between these 2 clubs. O'Neal was stopped. He was stopped on the double team. Just under 1 minute to go in overtime. Starks played by Bowie. 10 on the 24. The pass going through the hands of Ewing. And Ewing sent flying. There's Anderson. And it's a blocking foul on Charles Oakley. That is his 6th. That is a critical loss. Charles Oakley with a season high 18 rebounds will join Charles Smith on the bench. Smith fouled out during regulation.
Now that whole play took place because when Ewing was knocked to the floor at the other end and he fell down, suddenly Shaq realized that, hey, if I run hard, I can beat him down. Ewing goes down, Shaq takes off, and when he takes off at the other end, somebody's got to pick him up. As a result, nobody stops the basketball until the last second. Oakley steps in for the foul. So by going down, that's what opened it up at the offensive end.
And Pat Riley decides to go small here. Doc Rivers will come on for Oakley. Nick Anderson is 5 for 10 from the line. He has 21 points. He's hit some key buckets down the stretch.
Well, not a problem for Pat Riley going small insofar as Doc Rivers can certainly play Anthony Bowie at the defensive end of the floor, and offensively, it's a pretty good matchup that way.
Game time, 88. 30 seconds to go. We are in overtime. Starks for Ewing. Rejected and a foul.
Tom Tolbert very upset. He felt that when he made the rotation, he had established position, and that Ewing came to him, and it should have been an offensive foul. There's the rotation. There's Ewing taking off, and a little bit of help at the end from Shaq, just to make sure that the ball doesn't go in.
Ewing is 4 for 6 from the line. Over the years, he has not been effective in final minutes of games, but recently he has been hitting the free throws. I'm talking about at the foul line. He's hit 3 of 3 in the final minutes here today. Make it 4 out of 4. Clutch foul shooting by Patrick Ewing to give the Knicks a 2-point lead. Timeout call. It will be Orlando ball when we come back. In Orlando, watch this, Czar. You can certainly relate to this. Pat Riley talking with trainers Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh going to the bottle.
It's headache number 63 in this basketball game for a coach. He knows that when this game is over, he's going to use those right away.
Pat's chewing on him. The Knicks 90, Orlando 88. 24 and 7, 10 seconds to go in overtime. The Knicks have hit 4 out of 7 in OT. Orlando 3 for 7. Bowie, played by Rivers. O'Neal, backing with Ewing, and a foul. Let's see what the call is by Joe Crawford. Patrick Ewing lands on the floor. He's called for the block.
Patrick's smart enough to know that he can't react too much to the ball because the last thing the Knicks need is to give up an extra point on a technical foul free throw attempt. So now what they're doing is they're putting a guy on the line who has been placed in this situation a couple times already this season. The game on the line. Can Shaquille make the free throws? There's the bump, the turn-in, the body contact, and the foul is called. You go back to the Phoenix game here where the Magic had a chance to win at the end. Danny Ainge intentionally fouls Shaquille, put him on the free throw line. He missed both foul shots. Phoenix wins.
Sensational game, though, for Ewing. Shaquille hitting on his first. He's now 3 of 7 from the line, only a 59% free throw shooter. Orlando down by 1. Hits both to tie the game at 90. And the Knicks call for time with 13 and 7/10 seconds remaining in overtime. Shaquille O'Neal, who has had all kinds of problems at the foul line, able to bury the two in clutch fashion. See the foul rundown. 3 Knicks have fouled out. 4-piece on Skiles, O'Neal, and Royal. The Orlando Magic has lost 3 of its last 4 games after winning 3 in a row. They had that good stretch winning all 3 on the road at Sacramento, at the Los Angeles Lakers, and at Portland.
Pat Riley electing to take the ball on the baseline where it's a little bit easier to get it in rather than at half court, and now they'll play for this final shot.
Herb Williams replacing Patrick Ewing. Down to 5 seconds. Anthony takes the jump shot. Rebound Mason. And let's see. Any call or a time run out? A traveling violation. We go to a second overtime. A travel called on Anthony Mason. Here's another look at it as we head to overtime number 2.
Greg Anthony got a good look at the rim, elevated, looked like it was going down, but then Mason, who's been terrific on the offensive boards all afternoon, does take a little cha-cha step in there as he tries to turn to the basket. Mason in the bottom of the screen, maybe could have been called for an offensive push-off foul on the rebound, but right here is where he shuffles. You can't go cha-cha without putting it on the floor.
The Knicks and the Magic tied at 90. We'll be back with the second overtime in a moment. Patrick Ewing fouled out just a moment ago. Joining Charles Smith and Charles Oakley on the Knick bench. Doc Rivers has 4. You see 4 apiece on 4 members of the Magic. On to overtime number 2. And the Magic control. Scott Skiles, Anthony Bowie in the backcourt. Nick Anderson, Tom Tolbert, and Shaquille O'Neal up front. Shaquille hanging in with 4 fouls. 12 points. He has not shot well, but he has 18 rebounds and 5 blocked shots. And he hit the 2 free throws to tie the game at 90. Here is Shaquille over Herb Williams. The Magic with a 2-point lead.
But one of the reasons that the Knicks brought in Herb Williams was to give a backup guy to Patrick Ewing, a guy that could rebound, play defense, and block shots. He certainly will be tested here in this overtime.
Mason trying to set a pick. Illegal defense call.
Warning against the Magic.
That's the warning against